So Advance is the largest global network of high-achieving Australians and alumni worldwide. So we have 1 million Australians overseas and 2 million alumni of Australian universities. We see these individuals as an incredible resource for the country. And one of the challenges Australia has been having is around building the innovation ecosystem. So we look at how can we make a positive impact on the country and where can we be of assistance. And so together with KPMG, we formed elevate61.
The elevate61 model works. The term is crossing the chasm, about how you really go from a good business to a scalable business. And that's a common issue whether you're going to the US, you're going to the UK, Africa, any continent that you're going to, you have the same scalability problem.
For me, Elevate is the first example I've seen of a really intense program with a whole bunch of companies that's really focused on driving education on both sides of the coast. I've never seen that before.
I would say that LA is in this perfect place where we've kind of hit the inflection point. It's very clear that there's a lot happening here. LA is this really cool blend of having a really robust and thriving tech industry, but also having a lot of other industries.
Los Angeles is a huge economy. We're the #2 metropolitan area in the United States. Our GDP last year, the LA County GDP, is over $640 billion.
The palm trees and the sun and the beach and the studios have always been here, but there's something that's changing that's drawing people here now.
Everybody wants to work with everyone else. Like, everybody's really collaborative.
A lot of trade comes through here, a lot of people comes through here. So because of that, we're able to bring a diversity of opportunities for our companies. And I think that's why we're so successful.
Great companies are great companies, and wherever they come from, they're going to cut through the clutter and they're going to cut through the competitive landscape and be seen.
We've got a bit of a head start. As soon as you get here, you open your mouth and people go, "You're an Aussie, we love you." They appreciate when they get to know us, our innovation. They realise that we're a very innovative culture and great partners and have great links into the Asia Pacific.
I'm an Aussie who's been in the US for 15 years now. So right now I run a company called DreamHost. We're a very irreverent, fun web hosting, cloud computing company. Lots of customers around the world. I think to some degree, including my accent, which is a little bit blended, right? I've become a little bit of a Californian, I guess.
To be a part of something like this is a unique experience in itself. Definitely US is an area we want to get to, and we're just learning from the program how to do that.
If you already have some presence here, customers or otherwise, maybe it's a little easier to transition over. Probably a big decision, and so like any big decision, you should be careful and kind of thoughtfully plan it out and research it out.
So just the scale of things are amazing, as is the problems that come with that scale, and that's the problem we're looking at solving.
VCs see thousands of deals a year and typically invest in less than 1% of those. So anything that you can do to kind of stand out beyond just the hundreds and hundreds of companies that we talk to, that's really, really helpful.
There seem to be a lot of Australian expats here, so there seems to be a fairly robust community.
Australians are fun.
That's exactly what I was.
Cool.
This is essentially visualizing different elements of the internet, right? The internet's a living, breathing, organic thing. And what we do is we're able to use this in our security research to help better understand, interrelations between things and things that perhaps a machine could never understand. And it's things like this. So it's kind of this cool juxtaposition of, technology and security and how we visualize it with San Francisco, our home.
I can clearly see that the value of the problem we're solving and the technology and what we're doing is there. Our whole team, all of our staff, all of the people, all need to really move forward in our thinking.
So I have to tell you, I don't think the venture capital community or the startup world cares where a company comes from.
Simpro is a technology-based company for the trade and service industries. We had a pitch with VC yesterday with Axel. There was a whole room of 25 people. So it was a good experience because it meant that They were really throwing questions in there to throw us, gave us the opportunity to refine those questions afterwards and go, well, how do we actually make it better?
If it's a great idea, if it's executed well, I don't think anybody cares whether it's an Australian company or a US company or German company or whatever. And I think they'll attract investors.
We're finding that every VC we're talking to in this particular space of what we did today, they're all different. They're all looking for different things. They're as unique as we are as a business, and they're looking for a fit just as well as we can look for a fit in a potential investor.
Business ultimately is human.
One of the most important things, if not the most important thing to our organization, is our culture. Making sure that we don't start to create these disconnected cultures that don't feel the same. And I'd encourage any Australian company to do the same thing when coming here, and then hire the salesperson or the marketer that's here local, that understands the market, the dynamic.
The opportunity that I've been given in this market is something that I would never have been able to replicate if I had have just stayed in Australia. So I think that that's really the exciting part about expanding into a market like the US, where there is just so much opportunity.
The big dilemma that we all have is trying to work out in a street fight in New York who would win, Elon Musk or Mark Zuckerberg.
I would have to go with Elon Musk there, from just the whole Iron Man sort of persona, right?
Absolutely.
In the last number of years, New York has emerged as a real force in the startup, technology, and venture capital communities.
Silicon Valley has its pros and cons. It has an amazing history in the industry. LA is doing some very, very interesting things. New York definitely has then a whole different history, a whole different view of the world.
The Bloomberg administration, the former mayor of New York, put out a report where they did a study of the employment sectors in the New York economy. And the number one, which was to be anticipated, was finance. But number two, more than any other sector in the New York ecosystem, was technology. And that is a dramatic change from the history of New York.
One of the things that New York has, and is great for us, is our diversity, is the different cultures that are here, the different industries that are here. You can speak to someone from Australia in the morning, and I'll speak to my Nigerian friend in the afternoon, and everyone from finance to advertising to fashion to anything and everything is in New York City.
Like, the program has just been chock-a-block full of meeting people. The quality of the information that people have been taking us through has been extraordinary.
There's a lot of opportunity to be had here. Most of the world's major companies are here, and most like to do business in sort of the way we do it here in New York. And so starting to understand how that works earlier, I think, is better.
And for those people that this is their very first trip, it's noticeably different going from the East Coast to the West Coast.
I think New York is well suited for financial technology companies, for media companies, for the types of industries that feed on the professionals and businesses that are already established and well built in New York. You can build any kind of company in New York.
It's my time.
An entrepreneur is a rare person. An entrepreneur is willing to take on tremendous risk for an idea.
People often say to us from other countries, we work hard, we play hard, we're non-hierarchical, we're easy to get along with, we're cross-cultural yet competitive. So there's that easygoing nature and the adaptability across cultures. It's a mix that makes you incredible global talent. It's quite extraordinary.
Those Australian companies who want to go to the US, I think they have to make a tough decision about what they want to focus on.
If it makes sense from a business strategy to come over to America, then absolutely you've got to be here.
It's just a whole new level of understanding, importance, relationships, people, approach.
That to me was quite eye-opening, is to actually look at the world in terms of you can do anything, you just got to understand how to do it.
I just don't want it to ever end.
I would love to see these entrepreneurs kind of be the evangelists for their thinking and their learnings to other entrepreneurs back in Australia.
It's all about networks, it's all about being on the ground, and you won't know until you come.
And surround yourself with the best people in the world and just get up and go do it.
So get on that plane.